game's changing a little bit. What goes in? I think you'd be the perfect guy to talk about this. What goes into a game plan these days? Like maybe that was different when you were in Atlanta. I feel like a lot of analytics these days. Like what goes into the game plan? It doesn't even have to be the playoffs. Just you guys are playing the Lakers on a Tuesday night in the regular season. What goes into that game plan?
I mean, a lot. And Jameer knows about this. Between the regular season and playoffs, it's totally different. Regular season, it's hard to change things because there's so many games, and you might be playing back to back or 4 games in 5 nights. Whereas in the playoffs, you can lock in on that one opponent, and if need be, you can change maybe a coverage that in the regular season you wouldn't normally change. But if it's just a regular season game, typically you won't make drastic changes to your coverage. You might have a shoot around and you go over 4 or 5 of their top plays, and you might discuss an adjustment that you might make if that play or if a certain player is hurting you. But you kind of stick to your principles. Whatever that you guys been doing during the season, you kind of stick with it. As you know, when the playoffs come, things change. In the playoffs, you might be a guy that, if you're a big defending the pick and roll, you might be in the drop. Playoffs, it might call for you to be up on that screen. Or you, like me and Jameer just discussed, you might have to switch. So I think in the playoffs, you're open to a lot more adjustments, whereas in the regular season, you kind of stick to your base defense.
Now, what about analytics these days, though? I mean, how is that? Where are you with that, I guess, with the Nuggets? The advanced analytics on where to shoot the ball, when to shoot the ball, etc.
I mean, we talk about it for instance, like analytics. If we know a guy's a poor 3-point shooter, we won't run him off the line. But let's say like the NBA is right now, we have guys that are poor shooters above the break, but they're really good 3-point shooters in the corner. So we'll tell guys that no, he's not a runoff, but if he is in the corner, we want to make sure we're running him off the 3-point line. Somebody like PJ Tucker, who's such a really good corner 3-point shooter, we'll run him off in the corners. And if you look at his stats above the break, there's a big difference between above the break and corner with him. So with him, it might be something where we run him off in the corner, and then above the break, we still want to contest his shots, but don't run him off the 3-point line. So analytics do play a part in the scouts. I don't know if it plays as big a part in the scouts as what people think.
Some of it is just common sense. I mean, like you said, like a guy like who's a phenomenal 3-point shooter in the corner is PJ Tucker. The entire world knows that. So, all right, we're gonna run him off the 3, make him put on the ground. His percentage is gonna go down.
Absolutely.
I mean, I ain't no rocket scientist, but I can figure that out. You know what I'm saying?